The ancient world was full of brilliant minds, wild inventions, and mysteries we still can't explain. From cities carved into cliffs to computers built before Jesus was born, the ancient world was packed with genius, mystery, and straight-up weirdness. How did they track planets better than we do? And what secrets were lost in libraries we'll never get back? They even made concrete that's stronger than ours today. From forgotten gods to ancient tech, this isn't the history they teach in school. These aren't just old stories. They're jaw-dropping moments that still baffle modern science. So get ready, because history is about to blow your mind, one unbelievable fact at a time. Ever seen a whole city carved straight into a mountain? That's Petra, hidden in Jordan's desert cliffs. It was once a thriving trade hub with temples, tombs, and even a smart water system, all carved from rose-colored rock. Then suddenly, the people disappeared. Earthquake? Invasion? Total mystery. It stayed hidden from the world until the 1800s. Even now, no one knows exactly why Petra was abandoned. One thing's for sure. This place is ancient, epic, and seriously underrated. Modern concrete falls apart in decades. But Roman concrete? That stuff is still going strong after 2,000 years. They mixed volcanic ash with seawater and lime, and somehow made it stronger with time. Especially in seawalls. How? Turns out a rare crystal forms inside it when it reacts with water. Basically, the Romans invented self-healing concrete before smart materials were even a thing. Maybe we should stop building glass towers and take a few tips from ancient engineers. Imagine a library that wanted to collect every scroll ever written, Greek, Egyptian, Indian, you name it. That was the Library of Alexandria. Scholars from all over the world came to study there. It might have held secrets about astronomy, medicine, even ancient inventions we've lost forever. Then it burned. Maybe during Caesar's invasion. Maybe later. No one's sure. All that knowledge, gone. It's like humanity's brain had a hard reset. We're still wondering what we could have learned from it. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were supposedly lush, terraced gardens with waterfalls in the middle of a desert. Sounds epic, right? The thing is, no one can find them. Not a single ruin. Some think they were in Nineveh, not Babylon. Others think they never existed at all, just a poetic story. Still, ancient writers swore they were real. Whether myth or miracle, the idea of a floating garden paradise in ancient times is just too cool to ignore. The Nazca lines in Peru are giant drawings of monkeys, spiders, and birds, etched into the desert so large you can only really see them from the sky. Here's the catch. They were made over 2,000 years ago, with no drones, no planes. How? No one knows. Some say they're for gods, others think they're calendars. A few go full alien theory. Whatever they are, the Nazca people left us a mystery that still hasn't been solved. When you think of Egyptian mummies, you probably imagine gold masks and linen wraps. But onions? Yep, onions were tucked in their eye sockets, under the skin, and even in their hands. Why? Egyptians believed onions had magical powers that helped the soul in the afterlife. The strong smell symbolized rebirth. So these weren't just burial snacks, they were sacred tools. Turns out, mummification was less science lab and more spiritual ritual, loaded with meaning we're still figuring out. In a shipwreck off Greece, divers found a rusted chunk of bronze. But it wasn't junk. It was the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient device with dozens of gears. It could predict eclipses, planetary movements, and even the Olympics. Made over 2,000 years ago, it's basically the first known computer. No one thought ancient people could build something that precise. It's so advanced, scientists are still decoding it. Just imagine what else they made that we haven't found yet. Before paper, before books, there were clay tablets. The Sumerians, over 5,000 years ago, were writing everything from business deals to beer recipes by pressing marks into clay. That system, called cuneiform, is the world's oldest writing. These weren't just scribbles. They recorded laws, prayers, stories, even jokes. Sumerians basically invented civilization. Cities, taxes, calendars, you name it. Without their dusty little tablets, we'd know almost nothing about humanity's earliest chapters. They were the OG record keepers. For centuries, hieroglyphs were just mysterious bird symbols no one could read. Then came the Rosetta Stone. Found in 1799, it had the same message in 3 languages, including Greek, which we could already read. Boom. Code cracked. Suddenly, Egypt started talking again. Temples, spells, royal decrees, we could finally understand them. Without this one slab of stone, ancient Egypt might still be a silent mystery. It's like someone finally handed us the subtitles for an entire lost civilization. You've heard the legend, Helen of Troy, the wooden horse, a war over beauty. Sounds like fiction, right? But in the 1870s, a guy named Heinrich Schliemann dug up ruins in Turkey that matched Homer's story. Burn layers, big walls, even treasure. Turns out, Troy might have been real all along. Not exactly like the Iliad, but close. It blurs the line between myth and history. Maybe legends aren't so far from the truth after all. Before Hammurabi, there was the Code of Ur-Nammu, the oldest law code we know of, written around 2100 BCE. It laid out rules for theft, marriage, and injury. And get this, it wasn't all harsh punishment. Some penalties were just fines. It shows that even thousands of years ago, people were trying to figure out fairness and justice. The code was written in Sumerian, pressed into clay. Turns out, legal drama is way older than courtroom TV. The Indus Valley civilization built super-organized cities over 4,000 years ago, complete with grid streets, public baths, and drainage systems better than some today. Places like Mohenjo-Daro were ahead of their time. But here's the mystery. We can't read their script. At all. It's like having a hard drive full of data and no way to open it. We don't know what they called themselves, what they believed, or how they vanished. Their silence is driving historians nuts. Everyone knows the story of 300 Spartans holding off the Persians at Thermopylae. It's true, but they weren't alone. Around 7,000 Greeks joined the stand. Still, the Spartans were the heart of it. Their training was brutal, their discipline unmatched. Even when surrounded, they fought to the death. They didn't expect to win. They just refused to back down. That bravery turned into legend. Thermopylae wasn't just a battle. It was the ultimate "we're not going quietly" moment in history. The Maya civilization tracked the planet Venus so precisely, their calendar rivaled modern tools. They believed Venus influenced war, harvests, and kingship. Temples were aligned with its rising and setting. Some cities even planned battles based on its position. These weren't just stargazers, they were cosmic strategists. Their understanding of astronomy was woven into daily life. And no, they didn't predict the end of the world in 2012, but they definitely knew their way around the night sky. Stonehenge is mind-blowing when you really think about it. Each stone weighs over 25 tons, and some came from 150 miles away. No cranes, no trucks, just ropes, logs, and a whole lot of teamwork. It lines up perfectly with the solstices, so some think it was an ancient calendar. Others say it was for burials or healing. No one really knows. What we do know? Whatever they built it for, they wanted it to last forever. Okay, not really. But the Great Wall of China is still over 13,000 miles long. Built over centuries by different dynasties, it wasn't one giant wall. It was more like a stitched-together super wall. It kept out invaders, sure, but also helped control trade and movement. Thousands of workers died building it, and some were buried inside it. It's massive, ancient, and way more than just a wall. It's a symbol of strength, strategy, and sacrifice. Forget horned helmets. Vikings didn't wear those. That myth came from opera costumes in the 1800s. Real Vikings were way cooler. They used combs, tweezers, even dyed their hair. And yeah, they were fierce raiders, but also farmers, traders, and incredible navigators. They reached North America around the year 1000, centuries before Columbus. So next time someone calls them barbarians, remind them, Vikings had better hygiene than most medieval nobles, and probably better GPS instincts than most of us. You've probably heard an eye for an eye. That's from Hammurabi's code, written around 1754 BCE. But here's what people miss. It wasn't just harsh. It protected the poor, orphans, and widows. It was one of the first legal systems to say, hey, laws should apply to everyone. Carved into stone, these 282 laws covered everything from wages to contracts. It wasn't perfect, but for its time, it was a big step towards civilization treating people more fairly. The Persians beat summer heat with giant domes called yakhchals, ancient fridges that kept ice frozen in the middle of the desert. They used underground chambers, thick walls, and clever airflow to pull it off. Some stored winter ice for summer months. And these weren't small. They looked like upside-down cones and worked like a charm. Some are still standing today. They were cool, literally and figuratively, sustainable, and way ahead of their time. Who needs AC when you've got this? Everyone learns the Pythagorean theorem in school, but did you know Pythagoras might not have invented it? Babylonian tablets from over 1,000 years earlier show they understood right-angled triangles just fine. Pythagoras probably just proved it formally. Ancient Egyptians used triangle math in pyramid building too. History tends to give credit to the loudest voice, but in reality, brilliant ideas usually come from many minds over generations. Sorry, Pythagoras, you might have just had better PR. And that's a wrap for today. But don't worry, that was just the tip of iceberg. For more jaw-dropping discoveries, check our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe us.